Hi, thanks for joining me. I've got some great books to share with you today on the topic of winter sleep. And if you're like me, I'd like to spend my entire winter asleep under my cozy blankets. But in my stories, I've got some bears that like to sleep. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is called Sleep, Big Bear Sleep. It's written by Maureen Wright and Will Hillenbrand is the illustrator. And this is very fun. It's a nice opportunity. It's a rhyming book, so it's a good one for little ones to hear and recognize sounds. It also offers some opportunities for your kids to join in as you read along. And in the story, Old Man Winter is blowing and trying to send Bear a message that it's time to curl up and hibernate. And he yells, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But unfortunately, Big Bear doesn't hear very well, and he doesn't understand what the wind is trying to tell him. So sometimes he thinks the wind is saying, "Drive a Jeep," because Jeep rhymes with sleep. And so he does drive a Jeep. Or he thinks the wind is saying, "Sweep, Big Bear, sweep." And so he does. And finally, Wind does make it very clear that he wants the bear to go to bed because it's wintertime. And Bear curls up in his cozy den with his friend Rabbit. And he says, "Well, you could have just told me." So it's very cute and lots of fun to read. So check out Sleep, Big Bear, Sleep by Maureen Wright with a W. On another one similar to that, and I really like this one too, it's Every Autumn Comes the Bear, and it's written by Jim Arnosky. And Jim Arnosky is an author and illustrator, and he writes about things, he tries to be a little bit more informational in his writing. But this is a beautiful book. It's beautifully illustrated. And if you've ever hiked to the Pinnacle or Pulpit Rock with your little ones, they might actually recognize the scenes in this story because Jim Arnosky was a former resident of northern Berks County in Albany Township at the foot of the Appalachians. So it's a really pretty book, and I think your little ones will like it. There's lots of animals in it. It's not too wordy, so it's great for younger kids, and it gives you lots of opportunities to talk about what happens in the fall as the animals get ready for winter. So very beautiful, and hope you like that one. Every Autumn Comes the Bear by Jim Arnosky. It's an old one, but it's a good one. Similar to the idea of a bear getting ready for winter. This sounds cute, a little bit longer, good for older kids. This is by John Yauman and Quentin Blake through the pictures. And in our story, Bear's getting ready for winter, and he's remembering that last winter he wasn't prepared very well. So this year he's going to do it differently. And so he has a plan. And his animal friends are all watching and wondering, what is he up to? But finally, Bear is ready, and when the weather changes and leaves are off the trees and it's cold and bleak outside, Bear is curled up, comfy warm in his home. But unfortunately, his animal friends didn't prepare, and they realize they've got to find a place to sleep too. And so they all find their way to Bear's house. But these animals are not sleepers, and they like to hang out and party and have a good time. And so they keep Bear up all winter long until finally in spring, they're ready to head outdoors again, and Bear can finally get that long-awaited nap. So enjoy The Bear's Winter House by John Yauman and Quentin Blake. Speaking of not being able to sleep, maybe you have little ones at home like this. This isn't necessarily a November December kind of story. This is Chengdu would not fall asleep. It's written by Barney Salzberg. Maybe you've got little ones like this at home. It's a lovely story, beautifully illustrated. It takes place in the bamboo forest. And Chengdu is a panda bear. And no matter how hard he tries, he can't go to sleep. And he tosses and he turns. And everyone in his house is asleep except him. What's he to do? Well, maybe he'll do the same thing some your little ones do. Crawl into bed with someone else and then keep them awake too. Except by the end of the story, Chengdu is sound asleep. Unfortunately, his brother Yen is now wide awake. So, very cute story. Any time of year, a good read. On another note about going to sleep is Go Sleep in Your Own Bed, and it's by Candace Fleming, and Lori Nichols drew these adorable pictures. And in this story, it takes place on the farm. It's a cold winter's night, and everybody's getting ready to settle in for the night. And Pig heads to his pen, and when he gets there, he hears a noise. Moo. And who does he find in his pen? Cow. What's Cow doing in the pig pen? So Pig gets mad and says, go sleep in your own bed. So Cow does, and he wanders off to where he sleeps in the barn. But when Cow gets there, he wakes up another animal. He hears, quack, 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 quack. Chicken is in Cow's bed. And Cow says, get up and go sleep in your own bed. So here again, the animals, one by one, find another animal sleeping in their bed after they've been sleeping in someone else's bed. So this one is a lot of fun. Your little ones can join in and help you shout to go sleep in your own bed. It's fun for identifying animals on the farm. It gives opportunities for saying animal sounds, and you have to find out what happens. It is a good ending. It's a very sweet little story. In the end, I'll just let you have a peek. The kitten has to find a place to sleep. And do you think the little girl is going to let Kitten into her bed rather? Nice story. Go Sleep in Your Own Bed by Candace Fleming. Just two more quick ones to talk about. This is Old Bear by Kevin Hanks. Kevin Hanks writes wonderful stories for our very young children. And this one, Old Bear, this takes place throughout the course of a year as Bear heads into his den to hibernate for the winter. And he falls asleep and starts dreaming about spring and summer and fall. Lots of beautiful colors and pictures with simple words. Eventually it's back to winter again. And your little ones will learn a lot about the seasons of the year and the signs of the year. So this is a real pretty one and sweet by Kevin Hanks. Finally, one more, The Bear's Autumn, not to be overlooked. This is by Kezaburo Tahima. I said that right. And beautiful, beautiful illustrations. A quiet story about a baby bear and his mother who spend the autumn together and exploring, eating. Your little ones will learn about what they like to eat, how they climb trees, how they go fishing. There's salmon in this book. It's a beautiful, beautiful, simply worded little story, and I like it a lot. So I recommend it too. The Bear's Autumn by Kezaburo Tahima. So hope you can come on in and find some books you like, or order them online and we'll get them ready for you, and enjoy these early days before winter gets here.